Hello, everybody. This is Grace with Grace on a Journey Channelings. Welcome to the newcomer, and to those of you returning, welcome back. You're appreciated and valued. So, for today's talk, I was inspired to title it From Generation to Generation. From generation to generation. I feel that there will be a lot of insight from today's channeling. There will be some recognition of patterns. And there will even be some inspiration to make some type of change, no matter how minute it is. But I guarantee you won't leave without the inspiration to make some type of change. Sometimes the truth comes with so much clarity. You realize denying it will bring nothing but self-sabotage. At those moments, we make better choices. We've all heard, as you know better, you do better. And so I choose to believe in that. For some reason, I was guided to read the 12 Universal Laws. Some of you are already familiar with it. And although I'm not going to go into detail with what they mean, because it's not today's focus, but I'm going to be reading the laws. You are encouraged to utilize your time to do some research and get a better understanding, because the law itself does not come in detail. The details are important because those details are what inspire you in what directions you need to fine-tune in your life, what departments. So the first law is law of divine oneness. The second law is law of vibration. The third law is law of correspondence. The fourth law is law of attraction. The fifth law is law of inspired action. The sixth law is law of perpetual transmutation of energy. The seventh law is law of cause and effect. The eighth law is law of compensation. The ninth law is law of relativity. The 10th law is law of polarity. The 11th law is law of rhythm. And the 12th law is law of gender. As I said, it would benefit you to get familiar with these laws. Because in a world where we lack understanding and wisdom, guidance should be welcomed. So therefore, when there are times when you have an opportunity to grow and learn how to make better choices, I recommend you take it. You see, the way society has failed us is created so many divisive factors that cause us all to be in the spirit of competition. I know more than you. My book is better than your book. My book has all the answers. Your book is fictitious, and a whole bunch of lies. Okay, all that division has caused us to neglect certain universal factors that we need to consider and put into application. All the other additions that you subscribe to, by all means, you have the freedom to subscribe to them. But in order for us to be able to find ways to better understand each other, to better relate, have better social skills and ethics, treating others with kindness, treating others how we want to be treated. These lessons that we learn in kindergarten, a lot of them stem from those 12 universal laws. And that's why it's okay to put social media down for a minute and feed your soul. It hungers for nutrition and good health. This is not going to be done by anyone else's effort, because it only can be done by you. Love yourself enough today so that you can recognize the need for balance in your lives and take steps in that direction. Remember to play. Remember to rest. Remember to eat well. But remember to never stop learning. That is part of the balance. Respecting the fact that life is a school. We are all teachers and students at the same time. If we don't make effort in learning, either we repeat the class or we lose an opportunity of sharing light with another being, which in turn would raise our vibration. As you put out positivity, wisdom, guidance in the direction of the highest good of all, you raise your vibration. In turn, you will be in a momentum of ascension. That is the goal. To grow is to live. If growth is no longer on your tentative schedules, then there's no reason for you to be here anymore. Because every day that you're alive, there's something else being taught. And there's another opportunity for you to teach. And so as we take times to create, co-create our lives, let us begin to be in the mindset of not neglecting wisdom. There's so many other things we prioritize, mainly materialism. Yes, it is a fact that you need currency to maintain, right? You need currency to thrive. You need currency to feed your families. But you also need wisdom. Because regardless on the amount of currency you have, if you do not know how to utilize wisdom, the currency is at risk. So, as I shared when I started today's podcast, we are inspired to title today's episode, Generation After Generation. And as I have the spread in front of me right now, I'm looking at it and I'm realizing how much we're all connected, how much we need to put more effort in trying to make better choices, because We get to choose on how much drama we bring to our lives. We get to choose when it's time to release the toxicity from our lives. We get to choose when it's time to break those generational curses. This is what the cards are reflecting to me. And as I read them for you, I hope you gain your own understanding and that they will inspire you in your specific predicaments. So, for the first pile, I have hostilities. That's the first card. And as I look at the picture, the expression, he looks bewildered, lost. He's also alone with a sword. The sword held up high, on guard. But again, I'm sensing lost. I feel sometimes people have hostilities towards others because they're lost. There are times that we encounter people that genuinely come into our lives to help us. But because we're lost, we hold a sword to them. In the background, there's a lot of fog. That's also telling me that there are energies behind the individual that's bringing confusion. Basically, instigating these hostilities. Next card is Five of Wands. Arguments. Battles around you. As I've shared before, yes, I will definitely share what I've shared before, but I cannot neglect the third card, right? I have to read the cards with integrity. The third card is baby mama. And so that's giving me and understanding where the hostilities are coming from and the arguments, who are conducting these arguments, battles around you. Actually, I'm glad that I read the third card. At first I was like, child, who cares? You understand? Sometimes it's like you already know. So it's like, child, who cares? But I'm very serious about the work I do. I feel as if what I omit would be a disservice to you. That if I'm receiving messages, whether it be through reading or channeling, that I must offer my 100%. And this is why, even though there are times where I'm like, so what? But I will still deliver the truth. So the feedback that I'm getting from this pile, I basically just shared with you. But the commentary that I have, I would like to share that everyone is an individual. I'm remembering a conversation I had yesterday with someone who made a mention that we should never make assumptions. It's so easy to make assumptions. We look at someone and we determine this is what that person's about. This is what that person's capable of doing, and so forth. I always like saying in life we all have choices, right? So all this to say, if you find yourself in a baby mama position, right? And you feel hostility towards someone who has never even communicated with you, who's never even met you, who doesn't even care to know you. Although I want to go there again and said, who cares? Who cares what this individual thinks? But I must obey. And I must share these words. Everyone is different. Not everyone is willing to put up a fight. And that's why we should always keep in mind that we should choose our battles wisely. Going around looking for fights is basically looking for trouble. There are people that you feel you need to fight who will never engage in fighting with you because there is no purpose. There is no purpose if the person, number one, doesn't even know you. Number two, doesn't want your baby daddy. Number three, has moved on with their life. Okay? I've shared this some years before. In my younger days, I found myself in a situation where I thought I was very happy, right? I felt I had a lot in common with an individual. We enjoyed each other's company. We did things together, like not just Netflix and chill. I mean, go wild, experience things like going to picnics, going to festivals, going to museums, whatever. We had similar interests. It was always a stimulating conversation. It was worth our time. You understand? So sometimes, even with all of that, right? When dishonesty comes in the picture, it's all irrelevant. Because when I ended up getting a phone call and basically was updated that this person was unfaithful and this person had an individual that was pregnant for him, I remember my first response, and I still laugh today about it because it's like, it shows the amount of shock. I was like, what did you say? Because it went like this. My phone rang and I saw the individual's name on my phone. So I'm thinking, this is so-and-so. I picked up the phone. I said hello. And I'm waiting to hear a man's voice. In fact, it was a woman's voice. So I'm thinking, maybe that could be the mom. Maybe that could be the sister. I'm not jumping to conclusion because some women will not be in a relationship with someone they can't trust. If I don't trust you, I'm not in that. Like I said, I don't have the time for it. So if someone were to call that's female, I'm not going to make the assumption, oh my goodness, this man is cheating. He did something wrong again, because there's never an again. You understand? It happens, it's done. Okay? So when she made that comment, do you know who I am? And I said, no, who are you? I said, are you so-and-so's mom? Are you his sister? No, my name is so-and-so. And I'm this many months pregnant for so-and-so. I remember my response was, what did you say? Then I said, could you say that again? Like, even after she said it again, I said, could you say that again? Because I needed to process. This is somebody, I don't even know how this happened because we were always together. Like, I'm like, how could that, when, where, how? And it's amazing how even if you're always together with someone, they can still end up doing something that you have no clue about, right? And one thing I don't play about is infidelity. See, infidelity can bring you to your grave. Okay? I understand that some people find it funny because of my boundaries. Oh my goodness, she's so scary. Oh my goodness, why is she always being negative? Why? I am always serious in matters concerning these things. Because there are things that you get that you can't get rid of. You understand? And so my experimenting with risk taking will not be at your will. I will not allow anyone to play with my life. I refuse. Okay? I have too much to live for. So when she said, yeah, I'm so, and then because of my reaction, she knew straight up. She didn't know. She didn't know. She said, you know what? You know why I'm not going to curse you out? She said, because I know you didn't know. I know you didn't know he played us because I could tell the way you're responding. He played us. She said, you know why I called you? This is what he has next to your name. Like, he didn't have my name on the phone, but he had another, like, something else that he put in the spot of my name. And she was like, nah, I got to look into that. And she made the phone call. And I'm glad she did. Right? Because in the process of talking to me, he steps into the room and he hears what she's telling me over the phone, and he attempts to grab the phone. And she's like, so-and-so, if you hurt this baby, I'm going to call the cops. And she shouts my name and she says, hey, call me back. I don't know how in the world I memorized that number so fast. Because usually when I'm trying to memorize something, I have to look at it and I have to probably say it 2 or 3 times and I got it. But she said it just one time. But I memorized it because I was like, yeah, I need to know what's up. So she said, hey, I'm going to call you in about an hour, okay? I'm going to go home while he's fighting to get the phone from her. So he finally gets the phone from her, and a couple of, minutes later, whatever, she got home. She called me and she was like, yeah, he was fighting with me. He was trying to get the phone. Like I said, I'm not even mad at you. Apparently you didn't even know. And this and that. I said, you better believe I didn't know because I don't play that. You understand? And as far as what happened today, you don't need to worry about me because that's all you had to say. Like he doesn't get an opportunity to explain. He doesn't get an opportunity to say, I'm sorry. You see, that's my life. You understand what I'm saying? That's my life. And I'm not going to play about my life. I don't have the hang-ups. Oh, I'm so attracted to this person. Oh, he's well built. Oh, all of that. Check. That does not mean that I'm risking my life for check. Are you serious? Is that the last eye candy that exists in the world? You mean I can't find someone else that's handsome? I can't find someone else that's built nicely? I can't find someone else that enjoys what I like? Are you serious? It's never the end of the world. If someone is not able to be faithful to you, let me speak for myself. I love myself enough to walk away with no qualms. Like, we don't need to argue. You don't even need to say why. You don't need to say her name. You don't need to say none of that. We good. And it's like that. And so I spoke to this girl and I'm like, that's wrong that he did that to you and stuff, because you see, I'm one of those that feel for a single mom. I said, I don't have to get into this with you. I said, but I'm a single mom. I only have one child, but I'm a single mom. I understand how it would make me feel if I was in that situation. So as far as threats, as far as you thinking he's like, I'm going to try to get in between and all of that, trust and believe. You have nothing to be concerned about. Like, the last time I heard his voice was the last time he was trying to fight you to get the phone and stuff, because I don't think that's right at all. You know, she went into details. She's like, I can't believe he did that to me. He's the first man I know. And like, I'm like, I don't even need to know. I didn't say this to her, but I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's a little too much information, but still, like, she wanted to befriend me. She went there with it. She went there with it because I was not trying to fight her. I was not trying to ignore. Actually, I was giving her support. I was telling her that, you know, you need to set your boundaries, okay? Because what you need to understand is this is not only you. You need to worry about that baby. When he is playing around and doing all of these things in the street, he's endangering you and that child. This is not something you need to joke about. This is not something that you need to, you know, just turn the page about without making sure. Number one, are you willing to continue risking your life? And number two, is it possible for him to act right? People, I counseled this girl. Like, some people wouldn't even believe this, right? I don't know. I just don't know, I guess, why my behavior is the way it is. Because even though it's my truth, I do know from the other people that I've shared this with, they're like, wow, like, they don't expect this reaction. They expect for me to argue. And it was nothing like that. I counseled the girl. I told her it's going to be okay. I even told her, listen, this is what you're going to do now. I need you to look out for this child. I said, I'm not speaking to you as a friend of his now. I'm speaking to you as a mother. As a mother, you need to make sure that child is okay. You need to go to the doctor. You need to get tested. You need to, know your child's status. You need to know you are okay. This will be good for you mentally. It will be good for you physically and spiritually. And as far as his behind is concerned, you don't need to worry about it. I promise you, I will put that in his pea brain, what he needs to do right now to be responsible. Yes, I did that. To be responsible towards you. You deserve that. Right? So I said, as a matter of fact, since I don't need to speak to him, what I need you to do is tell him to bring me my binoculars, because I enjoy gazing at the stars, So I'm into that kind of stuff, telescopes and binoculars and all of that. So I said that was very expensive. I spent a lot of money on it. And I know I left it over there. I said, make sure that you let him know that he needs to return it to me, because as far as I'm concerned, ain't no more communication there. So she's like, yeah, I'll let him know that for you. I'll let him know. And she's like, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't mind meeting you. So I'm thinking to myself, why? I didn't say this to her, but I'm thinking to myself, why? And I said, well, how about we get what I need first, and then whatever else we'll consider later on. But like I said, I spent a lot of money on that, so I need that first. So she calls me back. She says, okay, he's going to meet you at such and such place to give it to you, whatever. I said, okay, because it wasn't at his home because I refused to go. So I guess I could say the place. It was at an IHOP, right? He's going to give it to you there. And when I went there and I'm just waiting for the item, he's like, I'm not going to give it to you until you let me explain. I said, you don't need to explain. That it's not necessary. Like, once you stab me, whether it's my back or my heart or whatever, yo, it's done. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing I can do or you can do to remove it. So it's done. So when he was like, no, unless you let me apologize, I'm not going to give it to you. I said, as a matter of fact, you have to agree, because I talked to her about how irresponsible you are. And I said, fortunately, I'm good. I have nothing to worry about. But as far as you're concerned, if you could be doing that with me, I don't know who else you're doing that with. And so you need to go find out your status. I told her to go find out her status to make sure that her and her child's okay. Because I don't play about single moms. You already know. So you already know I wasn't going to be on your side about this. And he's like, well, okay, I'll agree. He agreed. People, he agreed. He agreed. I met him there. After he took his exams and stuff, I saw the papers, people. You see? So it's like, it's weird because of the nature of the relationship we had. But then it turned out in me being somewhat of a guide at the end. You know, this explains and this makes me feel as if when God has a calling for you, it doesn't matter the type of relationship you've had with the person or, you know, the longevity of it or anything. When God has a plan, when he uses you to be a light or just be a difference in people's lives, you know, be an inspiration, be hope, whatever you call it. That's what you do. He could have, confirmation. He could have said, nah, I'm not going to do that. You're not my mama. You can't tell me what to do, what not to do. But he respected me. He respected me to the point where I told him, listen, I made an appointment for you over there. You gonna go over there. Okay? And as a matter of fact, after you go over there, I'ma see those results. Okay? And I'm gonna call her personally because they had this long distance thing going on. So I'm gonna call her personally and tell her, yeah, you did go. This is what happened. This is what happened. So yeah, everything was good. I called homegirl and I told her, this is what happened. This is what happened. Obviously, she was very thankful. People, she was thankful enough that maybe about a month later, she called me. She's like, hey, I'm having a baby shower and I know we met off in a weird kind of way, but I would like to invite you. See, that's where I had to, that's when I had to set a boundary. Because I did my part. You know what I'm saying? I looked out for that child, that unborn child that had nothing to do with the nonsense, the lies that was going on. But as far as, okay, we going to be friends, it's going to be sister-wife business. Nah, we don't play that over here. So that's when I said, nah, I don't think that's going to be possible. A couple of weeks later, she calls me again. And this is when I had to change my number. Because we have to be able to set boundaries. You enter people's lives for a reason. There's no one that you encounter that it's just by chance, it's a coincidence. No, you're here to touch each other in some type of capacity. Sometimes you leave a good memory, sometimes you leave a lesson. And so I delivered, I guess, a good memory in the sense that I was willing to be kind and so show some type of support. I recall after he relocated to live in that area, I was the one that told him, you should marry her. Don't make her a single mom. That's your child. You should marry her. And he was like, I don't know why you're saying this. That's not who I want. You know what I'm saying? You know the game. You know the game. That's not who I want. I said, yeah, but you should marry her. To be honest, I really don't know if it happened, if it didn't happen. It's been a while, obviously. It's been a while. So I don't know. But she was pregnant with twins, people. Like, for real. Come on now. Stand up. You know, she was like, in her early 20s and stuff. So like I said, I don't know if that ended up happening or not. But that's a story when I look back and I think about myself and I realize that, yeah, I guess I'm not too common. All this to say, when you find yourself in a situation with a man that was unfaithful or a man that lied to you, whatever, the best thing to do is communicate. It's not having to fight. It's not having to do black magic. It's not having to spread lies. It's not. Some women, you approach them and you say, so and so did this. Yo, it ain't nothing but a thing. You know what I'm saying? Understand what I'm trying to say. If you tell a woman, your man made me pregnant, you know what that means? That means that man risked my life. Do you I know it's hard. This is going above some people's head because it's like, one, we're not from the same cloth. Two, maybe it has something to do about maturity. Three, it definitely has to do with codependency as well. You know, some women are more independent than others. And then some are codependent. Like I've said before, I'm very independent because I was raised like that. And I was raised like that because, married or not, my mother had to be independent. Sometimes you're married, but you still have to be independent. And married or not, my grandmother was independent. It's like, sometimes it's not that you're not married and it's not that love is not there, but nobody's perfect. And then when you realize their imperfections and the fact that if you don't handle this part of the relationship, it's not only going to affect them, it's going to affect you too. Regardless if you're married or not, you say, you know what? I'm going to take this part and handle this one myself. You need to do this part of the relationship and that part of the relationship. Because some men will slack in one area and some women will slack in one area. So as a team player, the goal is to identify my strengths are this and that, and his strengths are this and that. So he can control this area and I can handle this area. And that's how it works. But the reason why there's so much drama in society, number one, y'all watching too much reality TV. Number two, you think everyone's like you. Number three, not everyone's like your mama. You understand? I understand that some women have been in situations where they saw women or their mothers fighting over men. Oh, I'm going to fight you. Child, I never saw nothing like that but on TV. And to be honest with you, I didn't even see that on TV until I started watching reality TV. And please believe I've been around for a long time on this planet. But I guess I just was never interested in that type of vulgarity and all of this and stuff. And this is one of the reasons why God had to allow certain things to happen to me in order for me to, I guess, develop certain skills that were dormant because I never had to use them. I never had to use them because I stayed away from confrontation. I am not one that's going to argue back and forth with you. What I'll do is I'll tell you what's on my mind as I'm speaking on this podcast right now with no reservation. But if it's going to be me and you going back and forth in a room like, nah, honey, I don't got time for that. You going to drain me of my energy. And I need my energy to do what I need to do. I'm a creative and I have other responsibilities. And so that's what I'm going to do. But as far as giving someone a kind word or some advice, if they welcome it, you see, it has to be that too. If they welcome it, I'm here for it. But if you don't welcome it as well, I respect that. But you cannot be open to it after you tried to kill someone by way of black magic or hiring a hitman or defaming someone's character. Reconciliation is non-existent in that type of scenario. And this is why today, when I receive a phone call or a text message that I feel is insane at your attempt to apologize for trying to kill me, are you serious? Really? Is there an apology made for trying to kill somebody? Because nobody ever told me about that. I wasn't briefed about that one. You see? Because my intuition would tell me, you tried it, you missed it, and I'm not going to give you an opportunity to do it again. That doesn't mean I have to walk around being hurt for the rest of my life. Oh my goodness, this person tried to do such and such. No, because I could just write it down as this person had mental illness. This person is possessed. This person comes from this bloodline. You understand? And I can't be in that mix. And life goes on. And as you mature, you realize everything you endure, chances are you are going to meet someone else later on in life who's going through that phase. And it's going to be your word that encourages them. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for years from now, encountering people that come to me and say, you know, I'm going through this issue. I'm being attacked psychically. I don't know what to do. I have a man that refuses to walk away. He's being, a boil in my life and refuses to go away and whatever. I am here for it. to say, this is what you should consider doing. This is an agency that might be of assistance to you. You understand what I'm trying to say? I don't need to know your details. Not because I'm trying to be cold about it, but because, like I've shared before, my family is my life. And this is one of the reasons why I can't be in back and forth confrontation or gossip and stuff like that. I got too much going on. When you're concerned about building, growing, and developing yourself toward co-creating a life, manifesting a life that you wish to live, you don't got time. Are you serious? So you're saying that I could use my time to manifest my best life, right? But I'm going to put that on hold and say, let me gossip, or let me go do spell work on this one. Let me go do a death spell on that one. Nah, honey, that's not me. That's just not my makeup. And this is why God tells you sometimes you need to release people, places, and things that are no longer in alignment with your highest good, because he knows that karma's coming. Because everything you do, just like I read those universal laws to you, okay? One of them in relation to, like, you reap what you sow. So everything you do will come back to you. So it's best for you not to do anything that you can't handle. Don't put out there what you can't handle. You understand? Walk in your truth. That's the best way to do it. Walk in your truth. Be woman about it. If you're woman about enough to be a mother, you should be woman enough to be able to use your mouth with words. If you need to brush off on a dictionary first, you do that. Because you don't need to go out of order. You don't need to be vulgar about it. You don't need to do that. What happens when you utilize certain terms or certain language to describe someone or to lie on someone, nobody has time for you being hurt for your mirroring effect. What you do is what you should expect. You can't go out there calling someone out of their name and lying and then having depression spells because the person said, oh, stop it right there. Nah, it doesn't work not in the real world. I understand that some people enjoy spell work and fantasy and stuff like that. But some of us don't have the luxury of pretend. Okay? Some of us are called to live out loud, and that would require for me to be authentic. And so this is why there are certain things I will engage in, certain things I won't. Those of you that want to continue to waste your time, let me be honest with you, and make attempts to connect with me as far as, calling me or writing me or anything with your spell work included. You see, I have too much too much intuition and too much wisdom to not know you, to not recognize who and what you are. And so that's just you utilizing energy that will not avail to anything. I'm not going to allow myself to feel any way about it. If you choose to continue to be a fool, okay, You're in your right. You can be a fool. And I also can utilize my wisdom and say, nah, that phone call, we ain't picking up. That text message, we ain't answering. That letter, we trashing. You understand? It's that simple. We get to decide how much drama or stress-free our lives get to be. And so if something is not official from a lawyer, I have no interest. Because I'm not about to play games or, some back and forth. Like I said, I have no interest. Like I told God, it actually, I'll even open up to that. All right. I prayed to God and I said, you know what? I've endured enough. Okay. I'm asking you for grace because I've endured enough. I'm not going to allow any more abuse. Okay. There was too much abuse addressed to me to begin with, unnecessarily to begin with. You understand? So there will not be any more. There will not be any opportunity for more. No. You don't get to do that. You don't get to mess up, then be upset for someone calling you out. And you thinking that, okay, I get to abuse this person again. I get to curse at this person again. I get to lie on this person. No. There's something I was just about to say. And then I caught myself about who you can call. But yeah, it's not going to be me. Okay. It's not going to be me because I choose to be free at spirit, and living my life in a manner that I'm okay with. When I look in the mirror, I don't feel as if I'm out of order. I don't need to live like that. Some people make their choices as far as, not utilizing morals, not having values. That's your choice. I'm the type that's very hard on myself. As y'all know, I don't care about what y'all think about me. I just don't. But I do care about one person. You know who that person is? Myself. I do care if I look at myself in the mirror and I can't respect myself. That I care about. Okay? And that's the problem with society today, where we don't have our priorities straight. We care about what we look like, not even our authentic selves, but what we look like. Oh, the community is going to see me this way or see me that. I don't care. Who said it? There's somebody who said, if you don't pay my bills, you don't even matter. You understand? And I don't even have the luxury of, going there with you because I know I have my own responsibilities. And so I'm not even going to go there and expect that of you. So therefore, you take care of your bills. I take care of my bills. You live. I live. We all live. It's cool. You understand? So anyway, the next pile is keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. And this is so true because a lot of times we grow up seeing our fathers and later on in life, sometimes we make the mistake of seeing certain characteristics or whatever it is that's relatable to someone. And we say, most of the times it's not even something you're conscious about. This theory itself was first introduced to me by a bishop. Okay. He first brought that to my attention. He's very famous on TV. His name should be in every household, to that degree. But he's the one that first brought it to my attention that a lot of women, they grow up and they look for their fathers, right? Obviously, you're not going to be looking for him. Well, let's just say a healthy-minded person is not going to be looking for someone. Well, he has to look like him. He has to talk like. No, it's something that you do unconsciously, right? The thing is, sometimes that characteristic that gives you a sense of safety is not what's best for you. Because what appears as safety, meaning like the stance somebody takes and that they appear to be a certain way as far as someone that can defend you or protect you. Sometimes that's not what it really is. I guess you are witnessing me declining the phone calls. Has it come to this? But anyways, let me continue. Yeah, sometimes you may feel as if you are in a situation where this is going to be in your best interest because this person is going to be there for you. This person is going to protect you and so forth. But the thing is, they are still out on their own mission, on their own agenda. Their ability to give this type of vibe of like, I'm not someone to mess with has nothing to do with protecting you or anything like that. And so that's kind of the trap that I fell for. I encountered someone who I thought would be able to protect me from harm and everything. Come to find out, he was instrumental in putting me in harm's way. And so that's why I've learned today that in making your selections or accepting people in your lives, logic does play a role, but waiting on God is the best approach. Yes, you may feel like, well, I feel this way, I feel that way. I feel is not going to lead to success. What's going to lead to success is guidance, utilizing wisdom. And that only comes from God. Therefore, it's important, the next card, which is trust and faith. It's important for you to continue to trust God and continue to build on your faith, because he will never steer you in the wrong direction. Okay? And so I've learned that appearances can also come in form of trickster spirits. Okay? I would get very insulted today if somebody said that my biological father, goodness, my biological father is anything like the Judas from my life. Because although they had the similarity in womanizing, that's where it stops. Okay. So some things that I may have overlooked are in relation to what I saw. So when you have someone that's very manipulative, someone that is a word witch, someone that's a liar, someone that does mind manipulation, you are putting yourself in danger. But these are things that I learned afterwards. And this is why I shared this with you today, because it is very important for you to have a no contact rule when you're dealing with these types of people. Confirmation. It's important for you to have a no contact rule, because if you allow them in your energy, they basically can spread whatever it is that is of low vibration to you. And this is one of the reasons why, especially in these seasons, when karma is hitting, okay? And there's no denying it. This is when you will realize phone call after phone call and text after text after text after text. Because they need that point of contact so they can basically send you the negative energy and rid themselves from it. You know what I'm saying? And this is a word of caution for those of you that have some type of association, even though you've banished them. Okay? Even though you said no more contact, but they try to contact and so forth. Let me tell you, if you love yourself, okay? If you love yourself, you will not pick up the phone call. You will not entertain any sob stories. I'm sorry, I was tricked. They didn't tell me. They lied to me. They did this. They did that. They did this. And I never did nothing wrong. You know the story. Okay? So, again, it requires wisdom, maturity, and self-love. When you love yourself, there's no negotiation at your welfare, your safety, your self-respect. And I would not be giving my dad justice if I didn't say, yeah, I could be safe with him. Yeah, I can guarantee you I could be safe with him. Right? I could know that he would not do black magic on me. I could know that if other people were doing black magic on me, that he would not allow it. Not only for a day, people, not even a week, not even a month, but years, people, years in your household, in participation, in funding. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like there are certain boundaries that people cross there's no, you already burned that bridge. Okay, there's no bridge there. It's already burnt. It's already went into flames. The same way karma hits is the same way that bridge burns. Okay. Now, I don't know how many of you can relate, but I remember there were times when I was younger that if something happened to me, I would hesitate in telling my dad because I knew what he's capable of doing. You understand? And me not wanting him to get in any kind of trouble. Sometimes things happen to me and I told him years later, literally years later. And this is something I had to change in my household because me being his daughter, yes, I am feminine, but at the same time, I don't play about mine. Do you understand? So I had to check myself one day and say, listen, you don't want your child to be afraid of telling you things. If something happens to him, because of he's afraid of your reaction, because he know you about to go off. You know what I'm saying? Like some things you don't mess with. You feel me? Like you do black magic on my child. You don't even exist. Okay. You could tattoo. I promise you. You could tattoo that on your forehead like non-existent. Not after coming after mine. And so, but I had to talk to myself and I said, yeah, you need to handle that. You're going to break that generational curse where you don't have to give off that energy that your child does not feel safe in telling you, okay, I'm going through this problem. Okay. So, I've done that. Because I know if you're a good parent, I'm not going to say all parents do it. I was just about to say it. Then I said, nah, because that's not true. That's a lie. Not all parents are open with their children and say, come talk to me, whatever you're going through. If someone's bullying you, come talk. Not all of them. Some of them busy with the club life. Some of them busy with their drugs. Some of them busy with their alcohol. Some of them busy with the hoes. Can we be real? I said, can we be real? So, but those of us that do parent, okay, it's important for your child to feel safe enough to talk to you, knowing that, yeah, my parent is going to defend me, but at the same time, is going to defend me in the sense where I don't have to be afraid of what consequence is going to come after her. You know what I'm trying to say? Because sometimes people be making you want to snap. You know what I'm saying? So I had to make my child comfortable. I'm like, listen, I promise you, if you tell me what so-and-so did, I promise we're going to talk about it. I'm not going to jump off. We're going to talk about it. Okay? And we're going to do something rational about it. You know, because I have to make my child feel safe. But when it came to me growing up, my dad was the type was like, I wish your mother would. Like, he's just waiting for you to tell him somebody put their hands on you. Somebody, and he's ready. I'm saying he's ready. Okay? I don't know how that man never spent one day in jail. I don't know. And it's not because he was a criminal of any sort, because he was not. But he was definitely ready to defend his child, his children. Okay? One memory I've had, although I'm not going to go into too much detail for reasons, I'll just say for reasons. I remember I was much younger and I was in middle school, and these kids wanted to jump me. Okay. I don't like talking about it, but sometimes when you talk about something, you never know. It could help somebody in some way. So yeah, they wanted to jump me. I just came from New York. I didn't have any friends. And so I was brand new down south, and I don't know, they wasn't feeling me. Mainly because I didn't want to join in what they were doing. Although we had the same background as far as ethnicity, that type of group seemed gang-like to me. So I wasn't the type that's going to be, trying to bully people and do all of that. And my declining, after they tried to talk to me, after they offered me to sit at their table, after my declining, when they, told me you had to do this, yeah, I was like, see, that's what I don't do. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say I got a message that, okay, we're going to beat you down last day of school. It just so happens to be last day of school, right? See, where I live today, I don't know about everywhere else because I could only talk about where I live. But where I live today, well, that's not even accurate. Where I used to live, in middle school, that was pretty popular. Like, kids love to fight on the last day of school because they feel like, okay, we don't have to deal with any type of consequence or anything like that. So we're going to do that. We're going to get away with it. So we're going to do that. So I recall the day before the last day of school, I told my dad, I said, listen, I'm not going to school tomorrow because so-and-so said they're going to jump me and I don't want to get jumped and all of this. And I remember questioning, does this man love me? And the reason that question came about is his reaction was, oh, you going to school? And I said, did you hear what I said? I said, so-and-so said so-and-so, and I don't want to so-and-so. And he said, you going to school. Mind you, he doesn't explain what he's going to do. He just said, you going to school. So here I am getting ready to go to school. Mind you, it wasn't just girls I was concerned about because they claimed they were going to bring their brothers. So I had to deal with that crowd altogether, right? Oh, they're going to bring this. They're going to bring this. Mind you, during school, all that day, the kids was like, oh, it was nice knowing you. It was crazy. It was crazy. All day, like, I don't know why you came to school for real. Like, for real, why you here for? Don't you know it's all over the school what they said, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, whatever, right? Because I told my parent. So here I am walking towards the sidewalk off the school lawn. And I see the female section of the gang. And I see the male section of the gang, and I see weapons, people. I said weapons. I also see friends, quote unquote, that were friends, that were like, bye, and they running home, right? So there was no other direction. I had to walk towards that direction. And here I am walking towards that direction. And I just heard my name. I didn't know where the name was coming from, but I heard my name. That's what saved me. I heard my name. And when I looked, my dad was there. Now, without going into detail, trust and believe, everyone scattered. And like I said, without going into detail. We don't have to go into detail, but trust and believe, they wasn't ready. You understand? So this is my mindset. Like if I'm in a relationship with someone, this is my mindset that, yo, I shouldn't even ask you to look out for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a given. It's just a given because that's how I was raised. This is what, and in fact, because of that, later on in life, sometimes I found myself in situations that I felt that people would give me the same type of security. But I learned later on in life where some people just fronting. You know what I'm saying? Some people take their home as a joke. Some people do not know how to protect, how to not play about theirs. You know what I'm saying? And it caused me to stand up, to balance my feminine and my masculine, and me being the one now saying, I wish a mother would. Mind you, God has blessed me. I said God has blessed me. He knew what I desired. He knew what I deserved. He knew who was capable of it. You see. So it's like certain stresses I used to have that I would carry on my back and say, I have to do this. I can be in my feminine today. You understand? Yes, I'm going to be balanced, but I could be in my feminine today because as a team, we in this together. We all for each other. And that's the best way to be. When you find somebody that is loyal to you, somebody that doesn't play about you, someone that's not going to gossip about you behind your back, someone that is not going to let anybody play in your face or play with your name and stuff like that. See that? That's a keeper. Someone I'm not going to be concerned about if he's hanging out with my friends, if he's hanging out with my cousins, if he's hanging out, because I already know. Like I said, I already know. This is not something he will be engaging in. Anything that's going to be endangering me or disrespecting me or whatever, I actually would get a heads up, as a matter of fact. And so sometimes that's why things cannot work, because a woman will not settle for anything that she feels is weaker than herself. I'm just saying the truth. Okay? It may be welcomed or unwelcomed. But it is the truth. Most women prefer someone that's strong. Okay? Someone that's not being led like a little boy. Someone that could think for himself. Someone that could, all of that. And then once they find it, it's cherished. They will never let that go. Because they know this one has my back. Right? And I am very blessed. And so the next pile is storm warning. I bet there is a storm warning. I bet there is. Door to value and King of Swords. Okay? Abrasive, cold, demands respect. See, that's another reason why there are problems in relationships, because of the fact that people don't realize that as you give respect, you get respect. And if you don't give the respect, you don't get the respect. And those of you that give the respect and you don't get the respect, that's when you respect yourself and remove yourself from that situation. You see, that's what I do. When I give respect, I expect it back. And when I do not see it returned in the capacity where I believe I deserve it, I respect myself out of the relationship. That's a sign of maturity. It's a sign of wisdom, and that is godly. Right? Sometimes you don't appreciate something. You don't give something value or someone value until they're gone. And what I find most interesting about this card, it doesn't even show a person. It says daughter value, and it shows money. Right? Flowing in the wind. Some on the floor, some in the air, some everywhere. Right? A lot of people value, right? And that's another thing. Love yourself enough to not be used. Okay? You are not a bank. And you should not be treating anyone as a bank. But if you find yourself in a situation where someone is just trying to use you and abuse you, you have a choice in allowing yourself to stay in there and be abused, or allowing yourself to walk away and upgrade. Because as you walk away, you upgrade. You learned your lesson. That lesson was, I will let go of every person, place, or thing that is not in alignment with my highest good. I learned that lesson. Okay? Time for promotion. Time for the next level. Time for progress, because you learned that lesson. But once you stay in that predicament, unhappy, discontent, and miserable, you haven't learned that lesson yet. So you need to find yourself balanced. Okay? Because when you're balanced, you'll make wise decisions. You'll consider all the factors. You'll know exactly how to apply self-love in your life and how to set boundaries when you need assistance as far as security, police, because people need to respect your boundaries. If you say, listen, this is over, but it cannot be respected, and the person continues to push his way into your life, when you do not want the person, you do not share the chemistry with the person, you close that chapter with the person, you are in your right, regardless of their demand for respect, regardless of how abrasive they choose to be or threaten to be, regardless of their cold demeanor. You have the right to say no. And not no in a sense where maybe later, but no. In all realms, in all dimensions, past, present, and future, no. You gotta love yourself, people. I know some of y'all, and I'm not even trying to be funny right now. Oh, God have mercy. I know some of y'all were not taught self-love. And you don't need to feel any kind of way because you were not taught it and everything. Because I've learned myself to not blame anybody about my childhood, about what was addressed, what wasn't addressed. People do the best they can do with what they have. And a lot of ways we have evolved as humans came with time. The information we have today, our grandparents didn't have. The information we have today, our parents didn't have. The information our kids have, we didn't have. So as we mature and we consider what's best for the collective, we have to do it with compassion and understand that, okay, but this is what they did teach me. This is what did assist me. This is what did help mold me. Look at the positives, appreciate the positives, and put them into application. It is your job as an adult to put into addition what would be of help for you. Okay? So the next card is children. Children, your love life is being affected by children. Child, people do not even understand the gravity of children and why it is necessary to be responsible. Because certain situations you put yourself in, once it is affected by children, have y'all heard about Burning Bridge? But not everyone is willing to be in a situation where, okay, someone went out and had a child on you, right? And then you welcome that person back. Pay attention to this. I didn't even say the child back, okay? Because the child has a mom, right? But I said not everyone is willing to take the person back. Why? One, you don't have to, okay? That's number one. Two, you must be kidding if you think I'm going to take from my household to afford somebody who was trying to bring harm to me, who was not considering me. Sometimes it goes as far, who was trying to kill me, who was doing black magic on me. Sometimes it goes as far as who lied and say she was pregnant before. And then was stealing from my money through you and then doing blackmail. Do you see the complications? Right? Now, you also have to consider when there are children, there has to be a means of communication. Therefore, if you want to close that chapter of your life, it's going to be impossible with children because co-parenting requires communication. With this communication, for sure, there is opportunity for further drama. For sure, there is opportunity for unfaithfulness repetitively. For sure, your household is in danger because when these people attack, they don't even only attack the man with their love me spells or whatever spells. They also attack the woman that has nothing to do with it. And then they attack the children, which have nothing. Sometimes the children is not even the man's children. And they attack them too. Like, why put yourself in danger like that? Like, for who's worth that? I haven't met anybody that's worth that. Okay? Child or not, I'm not going to risk my life for any nonsense. Like, I've never done it before. Why would I pick an age of wisdom to start? How does that make any sense? How about endangering myself mentally, physically, spiritually? Are you kidding me? So I'm going to abuse myself. And I say myself because of the fact that it's a choice. It's a choice to remain in that environment. It's a choice to remain in that situation. So it's a choice for me to say, yeah, I'm going to continue, stay in that situation and be stressed out and cause myself to worsen in relation to my anxiety or to aggravate myself mentally until the point of depression, or else spiritually, I'm just going to be open for psychic attacks. Yeah, I'm willing to. Yeah, you worth it. I'm going to open myself to psychic. Are you kidding me? And emotionally, the fact that you're being disrespected. You're not being regarded in high value. This causes your self-esteem to lessen. It's a very degrading experience. You can lie to yourself if you want to. Ain't nothing wrong with lying to yourself. It is yourself, your life, your body. But those of us who have mastered self-care, and still putting into application self-love, know the boundaries that are necessary to set and abide by. Because some women, I don't care. Long as he pay my bills, I'm not worried about it. He bought me this BMW. He bought me this purse. Yeah. But do you feel loved? I want you to take a deep breath. And inside, not even outside, but inside, ask yourself, do you really feel loved? If your answer is yes, consider yourself blessed. Okay? But if it's yes because, yes, I do, in the sense of being defensive, you're not kidding anyone but yourself. And that's all that matters, because, as I've shared, you need to say that inside. Because inside is what should matter. Not what you post on Instagram or Facebook. Not what you tell your friends. But does this man or this woman love you, number one, the way you love yourself, and the way, number two, the way you love them? For myself, I can never be satisfied. You see, that's why everyone's different. When someone knows their authenticity, and someone knows how they show up in a relationship, and someone knows that they show up in truth, you just can't settle for less. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, because you know what you bring to the table. You know how supportive you are, how nurturing you are, how loyal you are, how committed you are, how devoted you are. So you cannot. You just can't. On rare occasion, I've heard people say that before. I've heard people say, I'm too good to be treated any kind of way. And I could relate to that. I'm sure you guys heard people say, oh, I love hard. I love hard. Whatever love hard means to you. Those who really love hard don't play about fidelity. Okay? They just don't. And usually when separation occurs, it's really ugly, because the person is awakened to, God damn, that's what I lost. That's what I lost. Why didn't I see it? That's what I lost. Yeah, it hurts. But as I've shared before, we are all teachers and students. Therefore, there are people you encounter that will be your teachers, and there will people you encounter that will be your students. And there are times when we have to accept closure. Closure is not always goodbye. Closure is sometimes you just never seeing the person again, or you just never speaking to the person again. There's nowhere that it is written that it says that closure requires for you to say, no, you don't need to say a damn thing. Nothing at all. They get the picture. I really think it's a cultural thing too. I really do, because being born in the States, I understand, and it's always been that way. This is nothing brand new, and this is one of the reasons why I kind of wonder, what's up with this regression You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with this issue with people not being able to accept that, a breakup? This is what people do in high school, people. No, like, let's put things into perspective. These are skills being utilized in middle school even. Some kids start dating as that earlier than that. One person told me he started at 11. So if you've been around that long, right? How in the world have you missed the concept of it's over? Right? It doesn't mean I'm going to kill you. It doesn't mean I have to start a smear campaign. It doesn't even have to mean I hate you. It's just, it's over. That's it. Okay, so since high school or middle school or elementary school, whenever it is that you started, right? There's a time and place that you understand. It's over means it's time to chill out. Time to look at yourself, time to care for yourself, time to love on yourself, right? Time to heal, right? And when the time comes where you encounter someone again, you're more careful that time. You don't repeat the same mistakes that time. And that's one of the reasons, even though I felt my parents were too strict, and I'm not going to lie, I still feel they was too strict on me. But in a way, I am glad they waited. They made me wait until I was done with high school. Because, these things, these detachments, these breakups, I guess can be so emotional that it can affect the person, being able to perform in school. And but I understand as well, most parents, when the child is a teenager, they give them the leeway. But again, I did share about my dad, you see. Not everyone is going to play about their children. So some people make it clear that I always got my eye on you. So even if you think I don't know, trust me, I know. And if I know, we'll just leave it there. If I know. Okay? So we all raise our children differently. And we all have different expectations. And all of that is good. But I think we should spend more time in learning about regulating our emotions rather than posting on social media. Look at this man, or look at that man, or look at that man, because when the breakup occurs, that's when you fall apart. That's when you lose your identity. That's when you say, who the hell I am. That's when it's like, you need to know who you are. I don't know how to express it. I don't know how to stress it. I don't know. I just wish the best for everybody in the sense that you get to know yourself well enough where you don't put all your eggs in one basket and be in a situation where if you're no longer with that person, then you already thinking of about thoughts that really should lead you into hospitalization. There should be no one that has that much of an influence over you that you feel like if this person can't be in your life, then I'm done. I'm done with life. Now, something wrong with you. All jokes aside, something wrong with you. Because that person has a choice to allow you. It's not a right. It's an allowance. That person has a right to say, yeah, I allow you in my life, or the person has a right to say, no. It doesn't matter what you thought, how you was raised, how your dad did it, how your mom did it, how your friends did it. She don't have to do it. And he don't have to do it. And because it takes two to make a relationship work, both parties actually have a say in the relationship. And I would like to remind people, when you pressure people too much after they left you, and you pressure them too much to stay in the relationship, and you threaten them, and you threaten their new relationship, and then you even go as far as doing black magic and stuff, you don't make the person love you anymore. Can I be honest with you? You don't. They actually begin to have even a more poor opinion about you. They dislike you even more because you pressuring them. There's enough pressure in life. People don't want pressure. No more pressure. No one has the right to pressure someone to be in a polygamous relationship. Not everyone was raised like that. Shoot, the message I received was, we didn't raise you to be shared. No, for real. Some families put too much effort in theirs to let you just be another rag in the bunch. You know what I'm saying? Nah, we put too much. We install too much in you that you just going to be one of the bunch. Either you are the wife or nothing. And sometimes it doesn't even confirmation. Sometimes it doesn't even require the family's background to say that or whatever. Sometimes it's just the person. The person just cannot compromise their self-respect. If I have a fault, that's the fault. I cannot live a life where every time I look in the mirror, I wouldn't respect myself. Can't do that. I cannot do that. I understand some people can with the use of crack cocaine or a bottle of alcohol or whatever drug they choose. But I refuse to be hooked on drugs just to be part of a harem in the sake of ego, confirmation, or spirituality, the dark side of spirituality. Nah. Not for any cultish presence, not for any religion, not my self-respect. No. I know it's not important to everyone, but it's important to some people. And those that find it important, they will not compromise. under no circumstances. One word, freedom. Next card is victory. Okay. Following that is Three of Swords, deception, frustration, jealousy, broken heart. That's telling me there are two sides to the story. One side has their freedom, is living in victory. And the other side is brokenhearted, frustrated, jealous. I feel led to tell you guys something, okay, because for some reason, I'm being asked to relate a message. This is not in relation to romantic relationships only. This is any type of relationship I'm speaking of. There are people that delve into satanic things, okay? Demonic things. And find themselves in situations where there's no point of return. I want to tell you that connecting with these people in any capacity, meaning communication, touch, even exchange, in whatever transaction, even exchange. Child, you are putting yourself at risk, okay? Because there's something called transferable energy. And my advice, I understand you don't have to follow my advice. You don't even have to listen to my advice. You don't even have to do that. But as a gentle reminder, it would be best to have no contact. Because when you have no contact, you don't have anxiety. You don't have nothing to worry about. Okay? And if you are in God, meaning you have a relationship with God, you are in connection to God, you are in alignment with your highest will. And you ask for your protection, then you also are covered. So it is best for you, as I said, especially if you were not involved in any kind of foolery. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no need for you to be paying the price for something you had no part in. Okay. That's not what God, that's not how God does it. Okay. And that's why we need to stay in our lanes and keep the peace. Keep the peace. If you're going to keep anything, keep the peace. Okay? The next card is Trickster. My God. Trickster. Okay. Challenge. That's telling me there are trickster spirits or people with the trickster energy that are challenged in, how can I trick this person? How can I make them repeat this cycle? How can I continue to break them down? We need to break their spirit. We need to take that joy away. We need to take that self-esteem away. We need to take that self-love away. Tricks the spirit because they have something to gain. Yes, they have something to gain and you breaking down. Especially when they put you up for sacrifice. Therefore, you cannot dismiss the reality that the trickster spirit or the trickster energy is in the environment, and that you must utilize wisdom, caution, and follow your intuition. Okay? The next card is Solitude. See, Solitude, North Solitude. And that's stating to me that you need to spend time balancing yourselves, okay, by way of meditation, prayer, just connecting to God, giving honor, giving praise, giving thanks, having gratitude towards, God, your angels, and your beloved ancestors, and just being thankful. But a lot of people have issues with solitude. They feel uncomfortable with themselves. Like, some people cannot even sit down in a room without the TV playing, even though they make comments like, oh, I'm not watching the TV. The TV's watching me. I've heard things like that before because they're afraid to listen to their thoughts. They're afraid to connect to themselves. That's not healthy. These are the types of people that need to remain in toxic relationships because they do not have the skills to be okay in spending time in solitude. When that should be a treat to you. That's why the term me time was coined. Oh, I just need some me time. Whatever you do, it might be just to read a magazine. It might just be to dance around the house. It might be, whatever you decide to do in your balancing of things, fit in solitude, because that is a skill that you need to learn on this journey. Because as you learn it, you will strengthen yourself and you will be wiser in your decision making and wiser in who you allow in your energy, in your space, and your connections. Consider it. Next card is grief. Okay. As I stated, some people who have not taken the time to bring balance in their lives, taking the time to overcome their addictions and, their vices and everything, when they're put in situations where God has had enough of trying to talk to you, enough of using your guardian angels to speak to you, to to guide you. Meanwhile, you are dismissing them. Enough of bringing guides into your life to give you wisdom or gifts of prophecy or whatever. And you mocking them. You throwing them away. You know, using them as the butt of all of your jokes. Even God has limitations, right? And so when he's trying to put you in a certain direction and you refuse to align to it, he corners you, right? Because it's an illusion for you to think you could box with God. It's an illusion for you to think you could override what God said. It's an illusion for you to think that you running things, right? And so sometimes we need wake-up calls. Or a term that I use, that I learned when I was in child development class, which is called redirecting. There are times when you choosing a certain path. God told you to get off the path. But you chose that path and you're like, I don't care what you said. This is the path I'm going to be on. God told you to get off the path again. You still stay on the path. God told you to get off the path again. You know what happens next? You fall on your face, right? You fall on your face, and then God is right there. He finally got your attention, right? And that's how you get redirected. See, God doesn't play. If he allows you to play for a minute, a year, 5 years, trust and believe there's a beginning and there's an ending. The thing is, it's a gamble, ain't it? Because you never know when he's going to put that other foot down and you fall on your face. Those of us that have fallen on our faces before, including myself, have learned that, child, I just need one warning. I don't need 2. I don't need 3. You just need to clear your throat. And that's all I need. And ever since I've been living my life that way, I can tell you I've had brighter days. As I've shared with you before, he will never lead you astray. You could trust in him. I'm telling you. He will never put you in a situation where you have to walk with your head down, where you're the one who have to question your faith, question, your No, not if you're following God. You want him to guide your steps. Trust and believe that's what you want. Okay? Yeah, it's not always easy because some people will laugh at you. Some people will say you're boring. Some people will say you don't know how to enjoy your life. And so forth. But let me tell you, those same people will say, you know what? She was right all along. It's divine timing. But in divine timing, we shall say, they will say, she was right all along. I should have just listened. I could have avoided all of this. Right? That's how the cookie crumbled. Next card is you can do it. Archangel Michael. Let me tell y'all something. One of the benefits of staying in alignment is protection. Okay? So those of you who are saying, oh, I can't do it. I can't do everything right. I'm just human. It's not about doing everything right. It's not about being perfect. It's not about not learning. When you make a mistake, you learn. It's about being open to put yourself in devotion when it comes to the decision to align yourself, your life, in the will of God. That's all it takes. In your decision making, God, which one you think I should choose? God, what do you think I should do? God, I need justice. God, I'm tired. God, I'm confused. Whatever it is. But you can do it. It requires communication. It requires for you to build an intimate relationship with God. But it comes with many perks. As I said, it comes with protection. Some of us have the comfort of protection even as it comes to the archangels. Some of us are very favored. I always like to say we all have choices. So you do what you will, but let it be your choice. Because in the end, if it was your choice, then you get to say, well, at least I did what I wanted to do. But when you gave someone else the opportunity to make the choice for you, that is a very big disappointment when it doesn't turn out good for you, or well, when it doesn't turn out well for you. Okay? And this is one of the reasons why I always think for myself, I follow the beat of my own drums. Okay? Laughter or no laughter. Understanding or misunderstanding. Unapologetically, routinely. It's my life and I'm going to live it my way. Now, if your way is being in alignment with God's will, that's all the better. That is all the better. Okay? And so that was my decision. A decision I will never regret. A decision that has saved my life. There are levels to this. You understand? And I am ever so grateful. The next card is Purge. Okay. Purge. There are certain things you need to purge in your life. There's an owl on it. Okay. You need to utilize wisdom. And there's a circle of light, circle of protection that's telling me outside of the circle doesn't entail wisdom. Okay. As a matter of fact, outside of the circle is darkness. Okay. So this is one of the reasons why we need to focus. Just like on this card, there's a circle, and inside the circle, there's an owl. We need to focus. Focus on ourselves and our relationship with God. Be rooted in the relationship that we make with God. Understanding that we are part of the tree of life. And our decisions must be aligned for the good of all. Not selfish reasons. Not unethical reasons. Not trickery, deceit, theft, destruction, killing. No, not that. Because that would be in the darkness. Those are the things that we would need to purge ourselves of. Next card is Impatience. Right? And when impatience plays a part, that's when some people go into the dark arts and try to play God in people's lives. That's when they get out of their lanes. And get too comfortable in their involvement with God complex. I'm being told to tell you guys that you need to begin to trust divine timing. Trust divine timing. Next card is Persistence. Persist in your trust. Persist in every day doing the next right thing. There will never be a point in time in your journey when you feel like, okay, I've reached perfection. That's not the goal. It was never the goal for you to reach perfection. But you must persist because you can't give up on you. You can't expect anyone to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. Next card is Fire, Passion. And what I love about this card is this woman is in a position of power. right? She's surrounded by flames. You can't get to her unless she separates these flames. They are a barrier between her and anyone that wants to approach. See, that girl is on fire. She's not playing with nobody. She's passionate. When it comes to protecting herself. She's passionate in knowing what she's capable of. She's fueled with just the right amount of fire to be in control. That's passion. Next card is wisdom. Wisdom. Never do without it. I remember reading somewhere somebody said, one person asked, "What do you want?" The other person replied, "I want a car. I want money. I want a house." And the next person responded, "I want the wisdom of Solomon." You see? See, when you have that wisdom, you will understand that there is more to life than materialism. How about love? I said, how about love? How about being loved? How about loving someone that loves you back at that same passionate capacity? Right? But then again, we all have choices. Right? Some people will look at a bag of money and say, "That's what I want." Some people will look at stability, love, trust, assurance, family, and they'll go for that. Because they know with that structure, we could still make that bag. You see? That's called wisdom. Next card is see the other person's point of view. And this is why we do make reviews as far as choices that people have made their gains, and the shortcomings. We also know that life is a school. And we're here to learn. So we understand that the person did what was best for him or her. That was the point of view. What was best for him or her. We accept that and we move on from that. But again, the fact remains, life is a school. We must live and learn. There's a season to live and learn. Sometimes we cry, sometimes we laugh. Right? Next card is retreat into nature. Spend some time in nature. Okay? I choose to not give guidance in that area because there are many different ways to spend time in nature. And I want you to be adventurous in that respect. I know a lot of times I'm like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. But today I'm being led to guide you in the sense of being adventurous. Okay? Being adventurous in nature. Now, the next card is love life. The basis of your question involves your romantic life, which is now changing for the better. The next card is yes. That's interesting. It's interesting because it says the basis of your question involves your romantic life, which is now changing for the better. So yes, your romantic life is now changing for the better. I must agree. I must agree because God always has a better plan. Okay? And I know that it is hard when you are going through hardships and you, child, sometimes it's hard. I know. Trust and believe I know. But in the end, and I don't even want to use the word in the end. I'll use, but after that trial and tribulation, because it's never an end. After that trial and tribulation, after that door closes, another door opens. That pause is what you do when you open the next door. That pause is about taking it all in. The fact that the life that you deserve is actually yours. Let me tell you, people, trust God, okay? Trust God. Do not be worried about, things that happen in life and, oh my goodness, and disappointments. They happen. They're a part of life. And it's okay. You know why? Because we're in school. Because sometimes you go through what you go through in order to strengthen you in certain ways so you can show up as the person that you need to be with who you need to be. Okay? So, yes, there are better days to come. Whoever needs that hope, whoever needs that encouragement, whoever needs that assurance, yes, it's a choice. I said it's a choice. It's a choice to have better days to come. All right, let me tell y'all something, because the next card is moon cycles. And I'm being led to tell you that a lot of us, when we're not versed on details regarding moon cycles, because we were not raised in the occult and, not aware of certain rituals that have been done for centuries. Okay? But as we are educated and alert of the days and times that we're living in, we realize the necessity to educate ourselves when it comes confirmation, when it comes to awareness, especially those of you that are being psychically attacked. You need to know the moon cycles. And I'm not going to go into detail with you because you need to do the research. As I've shared before, as you do the research, you will gain knowledge that I'm not even sharing with you, but you will come across it. You understand? What I'm trying to say is I want for you to get more knowledge than what I'm offering. Meaning, if you go do the research on yourself, you won't only find details about moon cycles. You might uncover something else that might be very much helpful to you in protecting yourself. But this is why I want you to look into moon cycles. I want you all to begin to protect yourselves, okay? Not in doing anything low vibrational, as you are witnessing all those fallen from all the karma they've accumulated from doing dark magic. Okay? And as we use wisdom, someone once told me, wisdom is not having to learn for yourself. It's learning from someone else's mistake. Okay? So, as we learn from others' mistakes of certain poor decisions that you can make and certain consequences that may follow. We know today not to engage in trying to manipulate people, control people, change their destiny, steal from people, send deaths. We know that. We know that. Those who've offended me know that. Those who've attacked me know that. Those who are receiving their karma today know that. So the only knowledge that I'm pushing today in relation to moon cycles is how to protect yourself. Okay? You need to know what these people are doing, how they're doing it, how to counteract it. Okay? I'm going to just leave that there. Next card is, whom do you need to forgive? As you release old anger or resentment, you will find that your wishes will come true. My commentary on that is, be in your truth. Don't say what sounds good, especially when you talk to God. Don't say what sounds good. God does not want to hear what sounds good. Can I be a messenger today? He doesn't want to hear what sounds good. He wants to hear the truth. If you're angry, you're angry. If you didn't forgive, you didn't forgive. If you're not trying to forgive, you're not trying to forgive. Be in your truth. From my personal experience, what will happen after being in your truth? He will begin by saying, you need to begin by forgiving yourself. Right? Many times we overlook how much we're angry towards self. Because we're like, oh, I should have never talked to this person. I should have never allowed this person in my circle. I should have never lowered my standards. I should have never settled. I should have. You keep should have on yourself, right? But when you begin to accept, yo, I did what I did. And I can't change what I did. It already happened. I did it. Okay. It's a process. After you've accepted, yes, I did allow this person in my circle. Yes, I did care about this person. Yes, I did go above and beyond about this person. Okay. And then God then responds and say, no, you're not stupid because you loved somebody. You're not stupid because you cared for somebody. You're not stupid because you nurtured somebody. You got taken advantage of. But I don't ever want you to think that you did something wrong. Somebody needs to hear that today. That you did something wrong in loving someone. It's never wrong to love. Right? It's wrong not to utilize your wisdom. Because you love does not mean you're going to stay stuck on stupid. Do you understand? So, as you follow the process and you begin to forgive yourself, then you are able to see things in a different perspective. Okay? And then loosely, forgiveness comes into play. But truth be told, those that are not in their truth and go around and say, I forgave. Child, if you didn't forgive yourself, you ain't forgave nobody. Okay? It's a process. And I understand that my philosophy, and I say my philosophy because no one taught me this. This was just me being real with myself. This is just me saying, God, I can't be healed if I'm not honest. Right? Confirmation. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I forgave. I'm not going to sit here and say one day I'm healed, because the truth is healing is going to request the rest of my journey, because in life we experience cycles. Okay. There are ups and downs. In those ups and downs, there are triggers. There are days you will feel free. You won't even remember somebody's name. You won't even remember an experience. Okay? Yeah, you know them days when you so happy, you in the clouds. You know those? I hope you have those days too. Okay? Because you should have a balance of things. You should have happy days and days that you're working on. Confirmation. Right? So, because I keep it real, when I communicate to God, my healing comes in truth. When you can talk about it without crying about it, when you could talk about it and actually give a word of wisdom. Notice I didn't say encouragement. Notice I didn't say, reconciliation. I said a word of wisdom. I said wisdom. To a party that may have offended you, to a party that may have tried to kill you. Okay? And here you are giving a word of wisdom. Yes, that's the miracle of God. Yes, that's divine intervention. Yes, God is real. He's real all the time. He's good all the time. He's mine all the time. Okay? Just be real with your healing processes, and he will handle the rest. The next card is gentleness. Be very gentle with yourself. You see what I was saying about forgiving yourself? It says, be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. See? Surround yourself with love. That's the summary of that. Okay? And I just want to give you a gentle reminder. It's not the quantity of people, it's the quality of people. Because very recently, I had a reason to celebrate. Right? Really, we should celebrate every day just for the breath of life. But recently, I had a reason in particular to celebrate. And it wasn't a quantity of people. It was a quality of people. I wouldn't want anything different than that moment. You understand? Sometimes it's not about, okay, this one is there, this one is there, this one is there. But this one loves me, this one loves me, this one loves me. That's what matters. And sometimes I really try to, let me see the other card, which says, see the other person's perspective. I try to give it a shot of thinking about being unloved or not feeling loved, or not having those in my circle that love me. Yeah, I know. I know it probably doesn't feel good. I also know that it will remain that way until you change your circles. If you are in a situation or you find yourself in a predicament where you're unhappy and you choose to stay there, it was your choice. If you were in a situation where you are unhappy and you choose to hurt others, to the extremes of death spells, with excuses of, I had a hard life. That is not a pass. Because everyone has had hard times in their own capacity. Everyone is on a journey. And whatever you're being taught, that is what you're at the level of learning at that time. And so, who are you to play God in that person's life? Always know not to judge a book by its cover. Always respect that you only know what the person wants you to know. Sometimes you don't see the mask. So that's why you need to remind yourself you only know what the person wants you to know. And for the last card today, interesting. The last card is teaching and learning. It says, keep an open mind and learn new ideas. Then teach these ideas to others. I think this message is for all of us, all right? That we all need to keep an open mind and learn new ideas, then teach these ideas to others. Thank you, all of you that came in good intention, that learned something, and that shared your positive energies. So I'd like to end by saying my outro, which is, I am who I am in the eyes of God, nothing more, nothing less. I am who I am in the eyes of God, nothing more, nothing less. I am who I am in the eyes of God, nothing more, nothing less. And that's St. Francis's quote. Peace.